Hi, welcome to the My Curious Mind podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Rulo, and we're super, super excited you're here. If you're a fan of the show, please hit that follow button below. Follow us on Spotify, and that's just the easiest way to keep up to date on everything My Curious Mind pod. If you're wanting to be on the show, email us at mycuriousmindpod@gmail.com. Once again, that is mycuriousmindpod@gmail.com. We want you on our show. Finally, if you are a fan and you want to contribute, hit us up on that email, mycuriousmindpod@gmail.com, and find out in ways to invest in My Curious Mind podcast. Finally, if you're a company and you want to work doing some advertising, getting your company out there to the people, hit us up once again at mycuriousmindpod@gmail.com. We want to help your company grow. We want to help get your name out there to the people and everything. Without further ado, please enjoy the show. And we are live, man. What's going on? Not much. Yeah. Living. That's good. So I'm going to start with, because you did a sport that I did but didn't do because it was in middle school, so I don't really count it. But so you were, well, first I think we played against each other in basketball when I was, because I went to Jerseyville my freshman year. So you guys were tough. But going to Greenville, so you played basketball throughout high school and did track. Did you do football?
I did football in high school, my senior
year, yeah.
My freshman,
soccer player. Okay. So, but you went to college just for track, or did you go for basketball a little bit too?
This whole story is like,
hold that mic up a little bit.
I wanted to go to play basketball, so I went.
Oh yeah.
I knew about a little bit. Went on a little visit, and I stayed with a guy. Name was Peace. Pretty cool. I like Peace, but I walked on, had a couple open runs with the guys, and then came on campus. Started the school year, and did the morning runs and the workouts and all that. Alumni night, I did all that stuff, and then just had a little part right there, I guess. There was too many guys, I guess, on the team, and I was something on the walk on. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I don't need to push it too hard. So then I'd never done track.
Mm-hmm. Never until that moment? Oh, damn.
Never done track. And I was just shooting down in the wreck, and Coach Lewis, he's the jump coach at Greenville. He comes down, he sees me shooting, and he just saw me, I guess, for sometime during some runs. Yeah. And he thought I was fast. So he asked me, like, can you jump? I said, yeah. I think I can jump. He said, all right, can you touch the backboard? I said, yeah. I touch the backboard. I said, can you touch the net? I was like, what? Touch the backboard? Yeah. So like, he's playing with me at this point. So I went and grabbed the net. He said, can you grab the rim? I said, yeah, I can grab the rim. He said, show me. I went up, grabbed the rim, and then he was like, oh, yeah, I like your legs. Come with me for a second. We went to the weight room, and we just started doing like some triple jump stuff. Yeah. I'd never heard of triple jump, didn't know what it was, didn't know how to do it or anything. It's just like a hop, skip, and a jump. It's how you explain it. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And I did it. And the first time I did it, I rolled my ankle. Oh, dang. But it wasn't like, it was a good part and a bad part about me rolling my ankle during that. Yeah. It was because it was so powerful, mm-hmm. and it was like, it looked good as a beginner to triple jump. So he just thought that looked good, even though I rolled my ankle. It wasn't like broken or something crazy, but I could still work, still do some stuff. And I just started doing triple jump from there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, decent. After a triple jump, is that when you got into sprints? Because you did sprints too, right? Yeah. Like my sprints were so trash my freshman year. I ran like 11.74. Oh, dang. That was like super slow. Well, compared to the guys that I had on my team and what they were running, that was kind of slow for me. Yeah. So I was like, everybody running 11.2, 11.3. I was like, and far thinking, that's not even that fast either. Yeah, it's faster guys too. I was like, I want to get to that level. I want to start running 11.3, 11.2, stuff like that. So after that, first year had just went by. All that summer, I was working out. I was running, doing a lot of triple jump work, a lot of squats, and really just keeping my legs strong because I knew I had good upper body strength. I always did.
Yeah.
Like the little shoulder shrugs with the dumbbells.
Yeah.
So I always had good shoulders and stuff. So I didn't necessarily work on the arms much because it was kind of there. So I just started doing straight legs and working with my legs all the time. Come next year, it's just a whole different me, I guess.
Yeah.
Like running faster, jumping further, higher. Like I started running 11 flat. So I was like, that's better than what I thought I was going to do this next year. And triple jump, started jumping 13 meters, almost hit 14. So I was like, I'm kind of going somewhere already. It's my second year in it. Maybe this is something I should have did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But me as a kid, I always thought track was just like, it's too much running.
Yeah.
Like, cause I always see it just running hard, getting tired. That's what I saw. But it wasn't necessarily that much. When I got to practicing in college, I thought that was going to be crazy because I hadn't done grade school, high school, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't know you didn't do it until college, just because you're so good at it. I work track meets. I was like, man, he's fast. Like,
man, I never did it, and I was like, it's crazy to me that I did it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's crazy. And it's cool that like, because you don't. I mean, there's probably stories like that at like different colleges, but that's just kind of like Greenville. Like, we got to find who we got to find.
Yeah,
so that's cool that the coach was all like, hey, I think you got something that. Because you see that in high school, but you don't see that a lot in college. So it's cool that like you went there to play basketball, and you're all like, man, there's a lot of people on the team, even though Greenville plays 30 people a game.
That's what made it even crazier. It's like it's so many of us out here.
Yeah. Basketball practice at Greenville is like you got 60 people in it.
Bro, it's a circus. It's a circus. It's a fun circus, but it's crazy.
It's like one of those those group workouts that you go do like at a big gym. Like that's what I felt like when I see basketball practice happen.
Bro, when I say those practices, it's like jam packed. Its bodies are flying, like, and running the system. You non-stop running. Yeah. So we going up and down, up and down. We filling the red courts, HJ, doing runs. So no, 10 guys on the court at once. Yeah. We got 2 courts in the red. 1 court up there. That's 30 guys already right there. We got guys sitting on the side, still waiting to get in and run. Yeah. So it was just crazy.
Yeah, that is good. That is insane. Well, I mean that system in general is it's crazy. Just because and it's like perfect for smaller schools that like, hey, we just have athletes that can run, they can shoot. We're going to create something that, and I think this is why he does it. Like people have to defend against. Because if you don't change your entire offense, you're gonna get killed by 100.
Seriously,
it's not even get beat by 2. It is killed by 100.
Like they didn't put up 200 before, and that was on probably one of the greatest displays. Yeah, like it can happen on any night.
Yeah, and it's like they're probably not okay with it, but it's like Coach Barber's like, hey, I'm cool if that guy drops 30 because we got 3 dudes that are gonna drop 30.
Literally,
like as well.
5 after 5 after 5, they're all playing. Yeah. So it's like you're gonna have a couple guys gonna drop 30, 20, 15, 10s, and other stats. Yeah. So it's like you're gonna have a good night as long as everybody runs their course. They take care of their job on that side. They take care of their job on that side. They're good. Yeah.
So we're so did you go to Althoff? I think it was when. Because we're the same age. So were you there when they went to state? They won state, and then they went back to state for basketball.
Yeah.
I had like Jordan Goodwin and that Ferguson kid.
Yep. Targus.
Yeah, dude, he was
Targus. I don't know if me guys don't really know. Like we had some other great guys on that team. Yeah. Like Marvin went to Greenville.
Good. Yeah.
And Brendan Gooch, he went to SIUC. We had some football guys on there that went big. D1 is like CJ Colden went to Oklahoma, Wyoming. Like it was a lot of talent on that team. A lot of talent from a lot of different angles. And we all played well together. But what made it even better was all of us on that team had played with each other long before this Althoff high school career came. we played grade school with each other, against each other. We had a couple guys that are a year older, but we still played with them because some of us are playing up. Some of us are just mixing together teams. And we always had pickup. So it was always fun. Practice, games, trips. It was always fun and building that chemistry. And then we get there, we get to a state championship, we lose 1 year. What made it sweet was we came back the next year, and the team that we lost to, we beat to get to the championship.
Yeah.
And the team that we played in the championship, we just straight killed them. It was like Lincoln Way.
Yeah.
West, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't play in that series though because I had torn my meniscus, but just to see all my friends, my guys, they went out there and did that in the state championship game.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, that year, the only loss that you guys had was to Chaminade, right? And like
it was Chaminade, and
that was like Jason Tatum Chaminade, like not just any old Chaminade. Like you're
Jason
Tatum got a potential or probably first ballot Hall of Famer when he
bro
gets out. So.
Hey, what he's doing now, he was doing that then. He just cleaned it up, made it a whole lot more crisp, and it just looks effortless still because he's been doing it.
Yeah.
So it's crazy work.
I played in a summer league against him, and it was like, why am I here? Like, why? Like, I'm a football player that's trying to play basketball. This guy, why are we here right now?
He said he had to get work against everybody.
Yeah.
He said everybody had to get it. Yeah. Basically, in simple words, everybody gonna get it sometime.
Yeah. My philosophy of like the team I was with, they were like, hey, because he might be a year older than us, but he was like, I was playing with seniors. They're like, hey, he's a junior. You got to guard him. I'm like, that's not just a junior. That is flipping Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
You guys can't.
Yeah. You got to throw everybody at him.
Yeah.
You got to throw different.
I'm like, I am 5'9". I was athletic, but it's all like, no, it's you drop 40. There's nothing to get. Like,
it don't matter. It don't matter who out there.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
If you 7 foot, like he's
still going to get you a bucket.
Yes.
A couple.
Yeah.
A few.
He's insane, man. So, how did you get introduced to photography and videography? Like, was that something that was always like, hey, this is something that I'm interested in? Or is it just something you're like, hey, this might be fun to do? I like sports. I like being around sports. So, I'll just start getting into games for free because I'll shoot some shots.
That's one of the best parts, getting in for free. But what got me started was, like you asked, I didn't ever see myself gonna do it. I didn't think it like I'm gonna be a photographer one day, a videographer. I never thought that. I always loved sports, so I knew I wanted to stick around somehow with sports. But what got me introduced to photography and videography was Professor Jake at Greenville. He had me do like basically just shooting from all different angles and getting different types of genres and just taking pictures and coming back to him with him. He gave me a camera and let me do my thing with it. And I kind of just got creative, like started using my imagination. Like it kind of just turned me back to like being a kid again, like doing anything, finding anything, seeing anything, and taking a picture of it and editing it or doing anything really. It was just, it brought back fun, more fun to me. And I started learning how to edit. And I started doing videos. And then I started watching the games at college. I even videoed one game at college. And I was like, it's pretty cool. I actually like doing this now. So I just started doing it. Started finding all the hometown tournaments. Started coming back, like from college, coming back here. Catching like the Collinsville Holiday Tournament or the Centralia Tournament. Yeah, I'm going to try to get there. Try to get to a couple games. But it's like, it just brought me back to doing all the things I used to do, but I don't have to play.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to play every game for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So why not still put yourself around it if you can still enjoy it? So I still enjoy doing videos. It's crazy fun. And I don't want it to turn to like, it's just work that I'm doing, because when it turns to just work, you kind of lose the interest.
Yeah.
So it just keeps me in the loop.
Yeah.
and it keeps me around the game. So
Yeah.
that's what's got me still going.
Yeah, I think when we were kids, like when we were going through high school, like we would just crave for people just to take pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like that videography's taking over. Like that is because you can, even if it's a bad game, the way that you video it and edit it can make it look like it's the best game ever.
Totally different game. Like I was actually just talking to J-Rob.
Yeah.
I was talking to him because he films with the news. I seen him at a Vianney game, and we were talking about that. Like back when we were in high school and stuff. Like when we were playing, we didn't see a whole lot of videographers on the sidelines. We saw very specific ones, like Ballless Life. They would be at some or Hoop mixtapes. You would see only those guys. You wouldn't really see like all the other smaller brands that are out now. Like there were no us at one point. It was just a couple companies, but now you got a lot more freelancers, a lot more independent people out here doing their own thing. And we discussed, we wished we had known about creating your own brand and branching out on your own and doing that by yourself in high school. We wish we had known about that stuff then. Like we had the advertisement, the marketing classes that teach us how to work numbers, but they never actually showed us how to run this business.
Yeah.
But they said we can go to college, and I love going to college. I'm glad I got my degree. But I also noticed that there are also other people that took advantage of seeing what we're doing at a later time in the game. They can do it earlier.
Yeah.
And I just wish we had that knowledge back then that I could have got it started earlier.
Yeah. I mean, now you see, I've seen at the holiday tournament, I've seen middle schoolers. Like, they'll come up and talk to you, or they'll be like, hey, like, they have their own little first camera.
Yeah, it's like, they coming up with this camera, like, oh, what kind of camera you got? I'm like, I got this one. What you working with?
Yeah.
Tell me what they got, and I'm like, oh, that's good work. You keep working with it, and you keep upgrading, you keep leveling up. More is gonna come.
Yeah. Every usually Collinsville tournament I see you at, and then the Highland Shootout. Like that's been the two. Highland Shootout's always great. This year they got some good games going on.
Boy,
too, man.
This one specific game I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah.
That's Vianney Webster Groves.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Luke Walsh.
He's legit.
Crazy shooter. Yeah. Playing against Webster Groves, Miles Simpson, and Scotty Atkinson.
Yeah,
gonna be a great game.
And we played Vianney last year. Collinsville did. I went to. They played at Althoff, and it was like crazy. It seemed like that Vianney team was so talented. They just had a lot of drama, and it seems like they got rid of all their drama this year, and they're just like, hey, we're just balling.
Yeah, like they're playing a lot more free. I just went to their past game. They played against CBC, and it's like not just one of the guys are just killing. Like, yeah, Luke had 50, but there are a couple other guys that are throwing up threes and they're hitting.
Yeah.
So it's like they had a dunk. They just got a lot of guys doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
They got them doing the important things. Everybody's going to get to the basket. Everybody's going to score. But we need those guys that are going to play defense and those guys that are going to kick it when it needs to be kicked. So it's like they got the best pieces right now, and they got some size that can come off the bench.
Yeah.
Two guys that are almost out. Looks like 6'10", 6'11".
It's like they got rid of I don't know if they got rid of it or if they just left because of the kind of the drama from the outside looking in, but they like lost their second and third best player, but they're better as a team. Like, I was watching, I kind of kept up with them. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're beating teams that like you didn't think they would beat just because they're it seems like that, like you said, they're playing more free and just having a good time. It's crazy. I'm excited for that one too. I'm excited for what's the other game? I'll look at the lineup.
I know Vashon's in it.
Vashon's out. Yeah, they're always tough.
There's that finale game. Ooh, I forget the two teams. They're from out of state.
Yeah,
but they got some guys coming though.
Yeah, it's weird though, cause like we're on the Illinois side, but it's like we're St. Louis, and we know they like the St. Louis, and then it's always fun to see St. Louis versus Chicago. That's always just a fun little rivalry. So Vashon and Quincy's good again this year.
Still that solid 5.
Great Crossings and Bel Air, and then Father Tolt and John Burroughs.
That one too.
Yeah.
Tell some John Burrows. That's gonna be one.
Yeah.
Aaron Rowe.
Yeah. I haven't got to watch John Burrows play this year, but I've heard I've heard about him.
Yeah, they're both talented teams. Great coaches. Like, and they've been at it for years. Like, they've been consistent in their work. They've been consistently going crazy, consistently in like the top spots in the state. So I don't know what they're working with this year, exactly all their players, but I know that Aaron Rowe's coming hard with Father Tolton, and I just know it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah,
they coach well, they play well.
Yeah, the day before Highland's playing Webster. So Webster Groves is playing the night before,
Mm-hmm.
and then it looks like they switched Lamont and Webster Groves. So Vianney's playing Lamont that game. So gonna have to find that Vianney Webster Groves game later in the year.
That's tough.
Yeah,
but at least I get to still see both teams.
Yeah, DeSchmedt's playing this year. There, Principia's playing.
Mm-hmm. Principia's pretty good this year as well.
Yeah, and then Columbia. So that the second best player on Vianney
went to Columbia.
So that'll be. I wish they would have switched the games and made that the little.
That would have been the game to see. Vianney, Columbia.
Dude, it would have been sold out within seconds. Like,
quick.
Oh yeah, everybody in St. Louis would have been at that game.
Yeah, because kid, straight shooter.
Yeah,
he pure shot.
Yeah. I don't know if they're having like transfer issues. I haven't seen them play because they're a good team anyways without him. But I haven't seen them like on the court, so I don't know what's going on. Like,
I haven't even checked out their games yet, but from what I hear, they sound like they're going to be pretty good this year. I just haven't got a chance to see him yet, but hopefully he plays when the Highland tournament comes around.
Yeah, we got Quincy. We got Quincy coming back to the Collinsville shootout, so I'm excited to see.
Yeah,
they're a good team, man.
Did they take it last year?
They did not, dude. They lost in the sectional. I forgot to who. Because it was weird because we were in the same sectional as them, but we lost regionals to Belleville West, and like got not snubbed, but we didn't play best basketball. So it was like they killed Belleville West, and then they just all of a sudden just kind of the same, didn't play great basketball. And when the team's hot, man, they're hot. They get hot at the right moment.
Yeah, you got to catch it when it's hot.
Yeah,
you got to catch it when it's hot.
Yeah,
man.
The Collinsville tournament this year, they got some pretty good teams in there.
Yeah, who did they have in there? I didn't get a chance to check their whole schedule out.
Yeah, let me see. Prairie. No, it's Hollow tournament.
Because I kind of do want to bounce around. I kind of want to go there. And Bloomington's Christmas tournament.
Yeah.
State Farm.
So Decatur, Eisenhower, Triad, Altoff, Rockford East. That'll be a good first. That's the second game of the day. Altoff and Rockford East, yeah.
Oh, okay.
O'Fallon, Decatur, MacArthur. I don't know how O'Fallon is this year, but Decatur, MacArthur is always usually good.
O'Fallon's looking decent.
Yeah.
Looking decent.
Quincy and McClure North. Woodlands, which I don't know where Woodlands is from. There's a Texas team coming, so that might be the Woodlands team.
Okay.
Woodlands and Oakville, Collinsville and Carbondale, Lincoln and Mundelein, and Belleville East and Granite City. That's the first day's game.
Okay.
So Belleville East is pretty tough this year too. We lost to them. We've lost to and Belleville West, and then we just beat East St. Louis on Friday. So East St. Louis.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think.
Yeah.
That whole cycle. Because a lot that you hear this year, East Side's going to be better than East and West.
Yeah.
But that just speaks to any team can win on any night. You don't really know what you're going to come into.
I think Alton's a sleeper team. Dude, Alton, they've been bad the last few years, but they got a lot of good players.
They do.
They're and boys and girls basketball this year. Their girls basketball team's insane.
Yeah, the girls are usually pretty good.
Yeah, but they're they lost to, or they beat East St. Louis too, and I watched that game and I was all like, I'm all like, people have been telling me like, oh, this team's gonna win. I'm like, do not sleep on Alton. Like, Alton is not the Alton that they used to be.
Do not. Okay. They got one guard. His name's Samaj.
Oh yeah,
crazy bounce.
Yeah,
nice shot. Handles the ball and locks up.
Yeah. And
complete
it
back
just
and
looks like
forth
they're
guard.
having fun playing basketball. Like
Yeah.
that, whatever their coach is doing, he needs to keep doing because they just look like they're enjoying being out there and playing basketball with each other. That's kind of the hardest thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like if you don't go out there and play free, have fun, it's like, why are we really playing?
Yeah.
Like, of course we want to win.
Yeah.
But with winning, you also got to have some fun in winning.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to just be.
But especially like stars like him, it's like if he doesn't get 30, it's like, it was an awful game for him. But he seems like the type of kid. He's like, hey, I'm okay with getting 10 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. Like he's like, I want everybody to eat.
He gonna do some of everything.
Yeah.
If it's his night where he's hot, he's gonna light it up.
Yeah.
If it's his night where he's just locking up on defense, still it's gonna racking up.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really just however he's feeling once that game gets going. He probably gonna take that all the way through to the end.
Yeah. So you had a cool opportunity to follow your alma mater this year throughout the season and through their great season in Belleville Althoff all the way to the state playoffs or state championship. So we played them week 6 or something like that, and I thought we played on defense defensively just because I'm defensive coach. Like we played well against Deer Hill and they still won by 50. Like that team was just insane this year.
Yeah, they got weapons.
Yeah.
That young quarterback. They got wide receiver. Yeah.
That's
young.
Crazy.
He's nice though.
Yeah, he's good.
Puts the ball in the right spots. He sees the field and he's got good legs.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of dangerous when you got good legs and a good arm.
Yeah.
And you can see everything. And the line, big fellas on the line. Yeah. So that's what made it even better that he gets the time to even throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And even though they do a lot of running with the air, they still can open the field up with some throwing.
Yeah.
You got wide receiver, DB on one side, going to Boston College, Charleston Colden. Athlete, crazy. Got a nice little running back, 2 running backs. Got another guy in the back. I forget his name, but he's pretty good.
He was like number 4.
Yeah, number 4.
He played receiver too. He was tough.
Yeah, and they were both good. Like it's a good combination of backfield. So they had a lot of weapons. They even had a young his name's Logan, young wide receiver. Mm-hmm. He didn't play all the time, but when he got in, he made a play.
Yeah.
Yeah, one play in the state game, he caught it and he
I saw
the kid,
that. Yeah.
And they called it back. I was like, oh, come on, man, that's a great play. It's a great play. Just hold that celebration just a little bit longer.
Get to the sideline.
Just a little bit longer. But he's a good kid, a great player, and they got a lot of talent over there.
Yeah.
Got some that's coming back.
Yeah. But number 2, Kylan, I coached him his freshman, sophomore year. He's a good kid. So I was happy to see he got, it was all Deer Hill. Then all of a sudden I'm like, man, I'd like to see someone else get a touchdown. And then he scored. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So he's a good kid. I'm sad that we lost him, but it happens sometimes. But yeah, man, that watching him in the because they were talking about oh, he's going to Oregon. Let's see if he can really and playing 1A, which is it is what it is. That's the card that they drew this year. Playing 1A, you're going to play smaller schools. They're technically a bigger school because they're Belleville, but their attendance is it's 1A. So they're just playing with the cards that they got. But I had people oh, I think we're going to get him. I'm like, you do not know what you're talking about.
Yes. He had a heavy hand. He had a lot of places he could pick from.
Yeah, and it's like they played their hardest schedule in the year. They played tough teams in the year. They beat Belleville East, who's a good team. They beat us, and we made the playoffs this year in 7A. They played their toughest games throughout the year. So when it got to playoffs, it's oh yeah, it was no surprise to me that they were winning by 50 every playoff game because I was like, they're a good team. And that last week when Dier was out and they won that game, I was like, I think it was against Canelan. Canelan's a good team too. I was like, that's
quality win.
Yeah, that's a good they literally played a tough schedule and of course if you play smaller schools, it's not a surprise, but it's not like those teams didn't compete. They compete. It's just a different beast. It's not and I like the way that it was not them completely trashing programs and that. No, they showed up, went to work, and did what they had to do to win, and
every night.
It was cool. Yeah, definitely every night. I like number one's that Colden kid. He was.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would have got him the ball a little bit more in the state. But I mean, you had your top player in Illinois have 7 touchdowns.
Hey, when it's hot,
when it's hot, it's hot.
It's hot. So it's like keep feeding it.
Yeah.
You keep feeding it. But yeah, it was.
He was a difference maker in our game. He was just like because I think we were the only team this year, and I might be wrong, but I think we were the only team to hold Hill under 100 yards rushing. But it was like that was the hot hand, and they were feeding Colden, and it's not like he didn't just torch us, like he was literally making contested catches and not going down, and it's like it's hard to beat that. Yeah. Like he's going to Boston College for a reason. Like,
elusive. Yeah, and he's strong.
Yeah,
like great size. He's not a small kid. Yeah. So like athletic. Mm-hmm. You got that athleticism, and you got knowledge of the game. Put it all together. You can do a lot of special things. Yeah.
And I love when like family names, like when they live up to kind of that family name, and I thought that he lived up to his brother's name pretty good. Like because sometimes there's a big drop off, but I don't think there's much of a drop off there. Not that CJ's not doing great things right now. I'm pretty sure he's in the league somewhere.
Yeah, he's on. I think he's playing in the what is that AFL?
Oh, the AFL.
Yeah, he's about to join the AFL. That's gonna be lit.
Yeah,
that's gonna be lit.
Yeah,
hopefully I can catch one of them games at the return.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, he's following in the right footsteps though. Mm-hmm. CJ took a lot of steps, like Wyoming, Oklahoma. Then he hit Minnesota for a second, Canadian League. Now he's about to hop right back into it with the AFL. So it's like everything that CJ is doing, Charleston's seeing it, modeling right after it, and he's running with it. So that's the good part about it. He can see this stuff early and apply it to his game before he gets to said level.
Yeah. Yeah. So transitioning back to like photography and videography, when you got into it, you found out you loved it. Did you ever think that you would be like your videos would be going up on like Bleacher Report and like those big name sites? I was looking through them before. I forgot the names of them, but like there's multiple like big followings on social media and even like YouTube and stuff like that, and they're using your videos. Like, kind of talk through what that first. I don't know what happened first, but that first like, ooh, that's my video getting a lot of views.
That first one, which actually just resurfaced again, it was 2 years ago. I don't know if you're familiar with the guys.
Oh yeah, I love them.
I guess he had dunked on a guy in the St. Louis little Pro AM game. He dunked on him, and then all the team gets around and start doing this on top of his head. Yeah. And then ref gives him a tech, and then he started doing his little dance. And that's the first video that ever went like viral, like crazy. Likes, views just went up, and then we got like Ball is Life. Can we post this? And Sports Inc. we post this. And I was like, that's pretty cool to see that. So it's like understanding, like it takes time, but also it comes with a little bit of luck when you catch a good moment.
Yeah,
you gotta take them in. So like I'm glad that they gave me credit for those and wanted to put it out there some more. But like I said, it resurfaced again.
Yeah,
I just got hit up by the House of Highlights and a whistle. I'm on TikTok and on Instagram. I never reposted it again. So it's just like that happened 2 years ago.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
It's like it's still rolling around out here and just gets picked back up to be put out on another large platform.
Yeah.
And
I
feel good about it.
Yeah, you were doing nothing but making videos. Like, you're just all like, you had no idea. Like, man, this is gonna be. I think that's just huge in life too. Like, put yourself out there enough to like capture that moment, especially like
for real.
In this business. Like,
because that video was when I first started doing videography. I wasn't using the camera. It was my phone.
Yeah,
I was using my phone and a tripod. So I was like, I just captured this with my phone, and now it's going up. So I'm like, I did that with my phone. What can I do with a real camera?
Yeah.
But then I started got a better camera. And that one just set me into the right spots of getting good quality, good content. And then I got this new camera now. It's a Canon R8. So that one's even more clear quality.
Yeah.
It looks better, and basically it's just making me do better work. Simply just upgrading the camera. But it was nice to be noticed in that way.
Yeah. No.
So,
and I mean, we're in the entertainment business. Like, me doing this podcast, you doing the thing, and it's like
it's good.
If you don't put out good content, people won't do it. So I like it for that. Like, it's all like, hey, I have to care. Like, if I'm gonna do this, I got to care enough about it to put in the time to make it great. So that's cool that it's similar in that way. So what would be? I know you've only been doing it for a few years, but what's been like the best game that you've got to capture on your journey?
The best game. Ooh, that's tough. It's a lot of good games. So you're gonna make me have to go out and search because there's so many. It's some area games. I didn't call it some college games, but I want to say it was a high school game that's been the best one. I've caught some college games; they were pretty good, but I think I want to go with this one. It was Lutheran North. Yeah, it was Lutheran North. They were playing St. Mary's.
Okay.
Lutheran North, they were playing St. Mary's. And it was just talent was noticed. Like Bryce Spiller, he went to the Army last year.
Yeah.
And Yuri, his younger brother is Ari. And they're both great guards.
Yeah.
Good guys, good kids. And they just had extreme talent. And it was just a good game to see them go against each other, go head to head. It was a close game. Then St. Mary started taking off a little bit as their other players started getting involved.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the best games I've seen. But I say it's kind of hard to say which ones are just the best ones because they all got different.
Yeah, there was a lot of good games last year that I watched from the stands, so I can imagine just like trying to capture that. But I mean,
yeah, that'd be the part where you see the game live up front, and you got the camera in front of you, and it's like you catch this moment, and you look up, and you try to get it, and then I wonder if my camera got that same angle that I was looking at.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're lucky enough you caught it. But I have had those instances where I looked up, he just dunked on him. Look back at my camera. I didn't even get it. So then I'm just sitting there. I'm like, well, at least I got to see it.
Yeah.
But
just to be in that moment, and it's cool that like schools are like, heck yeah, come in, come in and video like help our kids. Essentially, that's what you're doing is you're helping kids get noticed.
Yeah.
Was that part of the reason too? Like, it's all like, hey, this is a good avenue to like, I can help put highlights out there for kids that maybe don't get that chance.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, honestly, because knowing this area and across the water, St. Louis, it's evident that a lot of talent goes unnoticed in our area, and they're just now starting to see it, like with Jordan Goodwin and EJ Liddell and guys like that. And Jeremiah, he's pretty good. Like, they got players in the NBA, G League, NFL, still in college. So it's just getting those guys out there, and also the other guys that just don't get noticed at all because they're not as big of a name as somebody else on their team.
Yeah.
But I want to showcase everybody, even the guys. As far as like somebody like myself in high school, you're surrounded by a lot of talent, but there are guys that can still do a lot of good things in their sport. So it's like, I want to give those guys a chance as well as those big name guys that get noticed, because you never know what you can get from a kid if you give them a chance. Yeah. So it's a lot of opportunity out there for kids and coaches to see these kids. So I want to give them basically what we could have had when we were younger.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine if I had a videographer when I was playing football. Like,
exactly.
Just because I played linebacker, so you can notice me, but like you weren't. Like, I made a lot of tackles in the trenches, so it's really hard to see. And you're not. It's not like a wide receiver. or a
Exactly.
quarterback that you mean one play and everybody's like, oh wow, that was an amazing play. Like there's a lot of like when you average in 10 tackles a game, there's a lot of tackles that people don't see, and like a lot of plays where it's all like you only see it when you go on film.
Right.
So it's cool what kind of I like the like people will talk about how bad social media is, and there is a lot of things about social media, but I really like the exposure of that like videography and photography is doing with young athletes. And I think the athletes, they get a little bit more juice when they're like, oh, I like Inky Shots is here, like, oh man, like now it's time now it's time to put up or shut up, like.
Honestly, because like, and you can tell when you get to these games, and I used to feel this heavily when I first started filming. When I'm walking in the gym, I got my camera in my hand, I got my bag on, I'm walking across the court, noticing, oh, somebody is staring, they're looking, they squinting, like, who is this guy? What's he doing out here? He's filming. Then you got some people looking like, oh, I hope he gets some shots of me. I hope he gets some pictures, some video of me. So I used to feel that heavy. I'm like, why is everybody looking? I just walk in the gym, just walk in, find me a spot, start filming. And I still notice like some guys, they kind of make eye contact with you to make sure that they get noticed by that camera somehow. And I'm like, yeah, I see you. I'm going to get you. Like, I focus on trying to get everybody, though. Like, that's already a thought going into the game. So, me seeing they for sure want some type of content. They want to be noticed. They want to be seen. Okay? I'm going to be that guy that can make sure that you can be seen.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of people that are out there that want to grasp everybody. They want to grab for that one guy out there that's supposed to do something that game.
Yeah. And so I know you've been working with Altoth a little bit. Is there any other like teams that have said, hey, we like what you do? Will you put some stuff together for our boys or our girls, whatever sport it is?
Yeah, I've done a little bit with some grade schools, and like I said, last year I did a lot with Lutheran North. Did some work with them. Altoff, of course. Some Vashon work. But like I just travel to everybody, and once I get to those places, I introduce myself. I basically just find that director or whoever, and try to create that relationship with them. So then they know if I want to attend this game, I can easily come right back, and all I gotta do is say the word to you and let you know. So then every time I come, you know I'm there.
Yeah.
And everybody else knows I'm already coming.
Yeah.
So it's like just building that relationship with the school and the coaches and the players. It's always fun that way. I try to build more relationship with that player than with like that school, just because I know there are kids out there that want that focus on them. So I want to make sure that they can get that.
Yeah.
And not just put it everywhere. I want to make sure that you get yours and they get theirs. So I want to be even all the way around.
Yeah. Yeah. So transitioning out of the photography and videography world, you're also an artist. You make some music on the side too.
Yeah, I do. That's actually, it really was a hobby. It was fun. My friend Steve, went to college with Steve as well. You know, Steve played football.
Yeah.
He was making music first, really, and he'd be freestyling. We'd be sitting in the room in Tower, sitting there, throw a beat on. We sit at the table, start rapping, hitting on the table, making songs, and then like we started just sending it back and forth to each other because he lives all the way in Florida, and I'm all the way over here. So we just sending back and forth like our verses, so that we can start putting music together.
Yeah.
And he started listening to more of my music, more singles that I was making just for fun. And he was like, you should actually start trying to do it for real. So I was like, I mean, it's just fun, so I'm still going to do it for fun. I might make actual songs, because you said it, but it's still just for fun for me. And I recently just started putting music out because the more people that started hearing it, they were saying, where does your music be? And they would only hear it if I play it. So I never had it anywhere. So I said, I mean, I just have it on my phone. Then people started telling me, put it on SoundCloud, put some rap music. So I said, why not? And started dropping some music on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And then
I've heard you. I've heard you on SoundCloud. That's how I.
Yeah.
That's how I figured out about it.
Yeah. So it's like I'm gonna drop some more. I got a couple songs in the making.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm ready.
Are you on Apple Music and on Spotify or just Apple Music?
Both. Apple Music and Spotify.
I'll have to put that link in the bio so people can listen to your music.
For sure, drop it. I'm gonna be dropping a lot more on SoundCloud though. I'm gonna start dropping a lot more there, and then once that crowd gets a lot bigger, that audience is built up, I'm gonna start dropping a lot more on Apple Music and Spotify. Yeah. But I got one coming. Called One Call.
One Call.
One Call.
One Call.
Yeah, it's on the way. On the way.
Gotcha. That's epic. So is there? So you've lived a pretty like man, I don't know if I'm gonna be good at this, but I'm just gonna try it lifestyle. What's I guess is what's kind of your, for somebody who's maybe sitting there, whether they're in high school or in their college dorm and they're like, man, I want to try that, but I've never done it before. What's kind of your advice, since you're pretty, seems like you got that kind of figured out.
So advice for someone with that mindset, really just do it. Like, some people think, oh, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna be bad at it, but you wouldn't know if you don't do it. Mm-hmm. So I've always been that person. Just, I'm finna do something. If I like it, I like it. If somebody else, in their eyes, they think I'm not as good in it as I'm supposed to be, I guess I need to put in more work. Yeah. So I'm just gonna say, like, just go hard at whatever you're doing and keep doing it, because it's gonna always be somebody out there that doesn't like it. Like, I wanna emphasize this song. It's by Lil Uzi, but it's I think it's called Conceited, or it's the Goddard song. It's one of those two. But in the beginning, there's this girl. She says, "Whatever you're gonna do in life, somebody's gonna hate it." And I was like, that's a real fact, because somebody is gonna hate something that somebody does. Yeah, that's just life. But that shouldn't stop you from what you want to do or what you could do. I've always been taught, like, you can't just have just one thing. You gotta have multiple. You gotta have multiple plans, because you don't know if all 4 or 5 of your plans are gonna fail all at once. Yeah. But you got that 6th one that you can still lean back on. Yeah. So I've always just been taught, have more than one source. Yeah. So it's not a bad thing to have more than one.
No, yeah. And you're doing stuff that's like fun. Like, or it's just like, hey, this could be a hobby. If it takes off, it takes off. If not, I just enjoy doing it. That's like, that's exactly it. That's why I started podcasting, because I'm like, I love talking to people. I love catching up with guys that I haven't caught up with in a while. Exactly. It's and I know a lot of interesting people, and it's because I am willing to go out there, just kind of like you're doing, and like just be like, hey, I'm Steven. This is what I do. This is what I offer. Like I am a wedding DJ, podcaster, teacher. Yeah. And I preach a little.
It's a man of many talents, man.
You know what I mean?
It's
like,
a man of many talents.
It's like but it's because I don't want to be subject to one thing, like you're saying. Like, a lot of dudes go all in on one thing, and then when it fails, it's like, now my identity is gone. It's all like, hey, if I lost my job as a teacher tomorrow, like, it's all like, hey, I'll find a way, because I can do multiple things. Right. And we kind of live in this weird, and I'm sure you noticed it, just like being around a lot of high schoolers, like, people are just awkward now, and I don't know if it's because of COVID's kind of shut them down, but it's like, hey, be willing to like go out there and just make a fool of yourself if you have to, because you never know, like once you get more comfortable, whether it's photography or videography, or whether it's podcasting, or whether it's making a song, like, you probably made your first song and you hear it now and you're like, oh, that wasn't it. Like, yeah, I listened back to my first podcast. I'm like, oh, that's not it. But if I would have stopped there when I'm like, hey, that one was bad, I would never be now doing stuff like video podcasting. Like, exactly. It was just something I started doing in my in my other room, just for fun, you know.
You gotta put the work in. Yeah, you gotta put the work in, and more comes. Yeah. More opportunity opens up the more that you do stuff. So you just gotta keep finding a way. That's it.
Heck yeah. Well, man, I appreciate you dropping by and sharing some wisdom, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me on. Good seeing you again.
Yeah. We'll have to link up again and do another one.
Yeah.
See.
I'll probably see you at Collinsville
Heck
tournament.
yeah, I'll be there. Yeah. I'm working security, so.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be on the floor. I'll be on the floor right with you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Awesome.